21-22, our Premier League final predictions. We're going to go ahead and we're going to try it. I'm going to base it on transfers that are confirmed. And in saying that, I'm going with the likes of Lukaku to Chelsea. It's done, right? His medical's done. He's on his way to London. That is done. So things like that we will take into account. Things like maybe Lautaro Martinez to Spurs. I'm not going to take that into account because it's not happening or hasn't happened, right? So what we're going to do with this, we're going to start from the bottom. We're going to start 20th. We're going to go all the way to the top. And we are using the BBC Sport table predictor for this one. We're going to go through each team, each position, and sort of talk about where we think they're going to finish. And then come the end of the season, we'll do another video, and we'll see how close we were. All right? So here we go. We're going to start with 20th place. Now, it might be a boring pick. Okay? It might be a boring pick, but for me, there's only one team that's going to finish in 20th place, and that is Liverpool. I'm kidding. It's not Liverpool. It's not Liverpool. Unfortunately, not. No, it is Norwich. I don't think they're going to do that well. To be fair, why is the badge like that? Why is the badge like that? What is going on with the badge? Yeah, for me, Norwich, I don't think they are going to survive in the Premier League. I think they're going to be. I don't want to say the whipping boys of the Premier League. I don't think it's going to be as bad as Derby were that season, but I just don't think they've got it in them. They've lost Buendia. They're on the verge of losing someone else, I believe. I can't remember, a midfielder maybe, another midfielder. I can't see them staying up, to be honest. I think they will. It'll be nice to see them there. I'm sure Liverpool will enjoy playing them, as they always do. But other than that, I think they're going to go straight back down. Let's move on quickly. 19th place. Now, I've actually got about 5 or 6 teams who I think I worry about this season, to be honest. 5 or 6 teams who I do actually worry about. Now, Watford, they're one of the teams I do worry about, but also one of the teams who I think might actually surprise a few. They've got the likes of Ben Foster in goal, Premier League experience. They've got Danny Rose, Premier League experience. Tom Cleverley, Premier League experience. They've got quite an experienced squad. So I think they'll do okay. I think they may still go down, but I think they might, put in a good contest, a good count on themselves. So I'm not going to predict them to go down. I'm actually going to go, unfortunately, with Brentford. Seth, why? We'll wait. Fine, we'll wait. I'm doing great, Seth. Just recorded this for YouTube, so thank you for that. Brentford, 19th place. I think people have got high expectations of Brentford. I personally don't think they're going to stay up. They got Ivan Toney, who's a goal-scoring machine in the Championship. Will we see the same goal-scoring machine in the Premier League? You can't tell, right? You cannot tell. I think they're great attacking. Defensively, though, I worry. I think they'll just be unpicked against most of the top teams and some of the other teams who have strengthened in their attack as well. I just don't think they're going to stay up. I don't think they've got the quality to stay up. I think Brentford will be the team that finished in 19th place. 18th place, the final relegation candidates. Now, for me, I'm just going to run through a couple more. I said I've got about 5 who I worry about. Okay, so obviously Brentford and Norwich, 2 of those. The other 3 who I genuinely worry about this season, the first ones are Newcastle. Newcastle, I do worry about. Obviously, they've just signed Joe Willock. Very positive transfer. I just worry about the club in general. We know it's not very well run. The owner wants out. There's no backing. I saw a stat actually on Twitter. Newcastle, the owner, has not put any money into the club. He's not put any money into Newcastle's into the club. Anything they've used to buy players with has been generated through revenue and profits. I really worry about Newcastle this season. Another club, which I hate to say because I work for them, is Southampton. I really worry about Southampton. They've lost Danny Ings. I think that's a huge loss. And I worry that they're going to lose James Ward-Prowse. There's rumours that he might go to Aston Villa. If he doesn't go to Aston Villa, I'm sure there's other options on the table for him. I could see him ending up at a club like Everton, or who knows? Maybe in Everton, maybe like a Palace or something like that. You know, I could see him making that switch. But if they lose Jay Ward-Prowse, I can really see them being in danger. The other club I worry about is Wolves. I don't know how they're going to do. There's rumours that Neves might be leaving. We'll have to see what happens there. There's rumours that Adama Traore may be leaving, and I think he has quite an impact on the team. I don't think he's that good personally, but I think he has quite an impact on the team. So for me, Wolves and Southampton are two clubs in massive danger of going down. Who's the other club that came up? Watford. Honestly, I'm back in Watford. Now I think about it, I think Watford will be okay. I really do. I think the Premier League experience that they've got throughout that squad, combined with the exciting Championship players that they brought up and some of the youngsters they've got, I think they'll do okay this season. I think they could be a surprise package. They could finish maybe 12th, 13th, possibly. I hate to do it. I'm going to go for Southampton. I think Southampton might drop this season. It would be awful if they do. I think that might be the case. 17th place, I'm going to go with Wolves. Again, I think they're going to struggle this season for the reasons I've just said, especially if they lose Neves and Adama Traore. They're going to be battling. I will say, I think Norwich are dead set to go down. I will say Brentford, Southampton, Wolves, and I'm going to place Newcastle 16th. I think it'll be very close between these teams. Very close between these four. I reckon it will come down to 2 points even. Yeah. 15th, I'm gonna go with Watford. I'm gonna go Watford. Like I said, I think they'll do okay this season. They could be a surprise package. They could finish maybe 12th, 13th. But I think just to play it safe and be maybe a little bit more realistic, I'm gonna go 15th place for Watford. Again, the Premier League experience will help them massively. I'm not saying that these clubs don't have that Premier League experience. Obviously they do. I just think Watford, they're hungry. They've got that hunger. I think Southampton, the way they fell off last season wasn't great. Newcastle, again, they just struggle. They're boring. They might survive, maybe. But yeah, Watford, I think, will do okay. They'll finish 15th. 14th place. Now it starts to get interesting. Now we've got to look at the clubs and we've got to decide who do we think is going to finish, 14th. Who's going to have an okay season and finish 14th in the league? Brighton, again, they were all right last season. Burnley, always sort of thereabouts. I've not seen too much transfer wise. I was impressed by Brighton last season. I think had they kept Adam Lallana fit and a couple of other players, I think they suffered a couple of nasty injuries, then potentially they could have pushed on. However, this season they are without Ben White. I think that's a huge loss to them. So I'm going to say Brighton will finish in 14th place. I think Ben White will be a huge miss. As good as the team they are, they've got a decent squad and they've got a good manager. They're lacking players, right? So yeah, I think Brighton 14th, 13th. Again, I want to see him do well. I think it's a fantastic appointment for the club. Maybe I said when he was appointed, I think it's a bit of a superstar appointment. I cannot see him succeeding at the club as much as I'd like him to. Patrick Vieira at Palace, I think he might be a manager that we see sacked in the new year. I don't see him doing wonders there. I don't think Palace will do wonders. They've still got Zaha. I will say that. They've got Zaha. But aside from that, I struggle to point out where they're going to be dangerous in attack. Benteke, he pops up with a goal every now and then. I'm going to go Palace to finish 13th this season. I think they'll have enough about them to escape the relegation battle, but I don't think they'll have enough about them to sort of push into that top 10. So yeah, Palace 13th for me. 12th place. That's getting interesting. 12th place. I'm going to go for a long shot here. I'm going to go for Leeds. Oh, no. No, do you know what? We'll go Burnley. Burnley, 12th. Now, Burnley are an impressive side. I like Sean Dyche as a manager. He's very black and white as a manager. He'll say it as it is. He will. He can get a team to play the football that he wants. He has a very disciplined team, right? They play boring football, but it works. They always do pretty decently. They always finish mid-table. I don't think this is the season where they progress as such. I think this is another season where they sort of continue to establish themselves as a Premier League side. So I'm going to go 12th. 11th, I'm going to go Leeds. I don't think they're going to be as strong as they were last season. I mean, they did drop off again last season. I'd potentially put them 12th. I was tossing up between the two. I don't think they're going to do as well as they did last season. I think they just caught us off guard. They exploded into the Premier League, played very attacking football. But as the season sort of went on, clubs began to adapt to it. They began to sort of allow Leeds to have the ball and win it far back, and they play out of defence and play behind them and score goals. We did it against them as Man United, as did a lot of other teams. So I think they might come undone a little bit this season. We'll see. Bielsa's a fantastic manager. If they didn't have him, I'd be a little bit concerned for Leeds. I'd see them finishing 14th, 15th, maybe getting dragged into some sort of relegation battle. But I think the fact they've got Bielsa at the helm, they'll do okay again. Nothing amazing, but they'll do okay. 10th place. Now this is where it gets really, really interesting, right? We've got all these clubs. 10th place. 10th place. I'm actually going to go with Everton. I think they're going to struggle again. Everton are a funny team. Every season, you always think, you know what, this could be the season where they either challenge the top 4, challenge the top 6, top 8. But again, I don't see it happening. I think they've made good signings. They've got Damari Gray, Andros Townsend, Begovic. They've made some good signings. They might be getting rid of James Rodriguez. I think that would be a crazy decision if that is to happen. But I'm not the manager of the team, so what do I know? But I can't see them doing well at all. Manchester United played them in a pre-season friendly, and now I always say take friendlies with a pinch of salt. But it was the final friendly before the Premier League started, right? It was the last friendly between two Premier League teams. You want to go out there and you want to show what you're about. We did that. We went out, we smashed them 4-0. They had chances, don't get me wrong. But it just looked dreadful. It looked lazy, it looked tired. Mistakes. I mean, maybe they get the mistakes out of their system. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. I've got no ill feeling about Everton. I wouldn't mind them, I wouldn't mind seeing them have a successful season and finish in the top 6. I don't think it's going to be this season. I think they're going to struggle. I think they're going to finish 10th. I really do. 9th place. 9th place. This season, I'm going to go with West Ham. I don't think they've had a great transfer window. They've got a good squad. They've lost Jesse Lingard. It looks like Jesse Lingard is going to stay at Manchester United. I'm sure they inquired about getting him on a permanent. But I don't think they've done much else in the transfer window to make me think that they can improve on last season. For me, there's no way they'll improve on that. I think, if anything, they'll regress a little bit. Maybe finish 9th this season. Again, it might just be a season where they just need to have another top 10 finish would be good for West Ham, right? The season before last, they were battling relegation. So I think to finish as well as they did last year and then have another top 10 finish would be a great season for the Hammers. In terms of progress, at the moment, they've not done enough in the transfer market for me to be excited about them or to think that they'll finish any higher than the other clubs that I've not yet selected. Right, 8th place, Spurs. Don't think they're going to have a good season, unfortunately. The manager is not a very attacking manager. And defensively, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. I think Romero's been confirmed for Spurs. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm assuming Christian Romero's been confirmed as their signing. But they've lost Alderweireld. I look at that back line and they've not really improved it. Apart from that, right? Apart from Romero, they've not really improved it. Have they still got Reguilon? Is he that good? Aurier is atrocious. Sanchez, I think they're going to struggle, right? They've also got the Europa Conference to think about. That's going to be a lot of games. I think it's going to be a lot of games for them this season. Harry Kane at the moment is set to stay. He can't play every game. And for me, I don't think this Vinicius is good enough as a backup striker for them. I look at Spurs and I don't see a good enough depth to say that they'll challenge for the top 6. You need to have a good level of depth throughout your squad, and for me, they don't right now. No. It's not Vinicius Junior, Gilberto. They've got another striker, right? They've got another striker. He's a Brazilian lad, right? Not Vinicius Junior. He's called Vinicius. I can't remember. Carlos. He's still there, right? Oh, he's on loan. Okay, well, in that case, I've got no idea who they're going to play. Son up top. For me, they just don't have depth. It's as simple as that. They don't have enough squad depth. I think 8th could be quite generous even. I would not be surprised to see West Ham, maybe even Everton if they have a good season, to finish above Spurs. Could be a tough, long old season for Spurs fans. 7th place. Do you know what? 7th place, Aston Villa. I've got Aston Villa fan in my chat, Gilberto Solana. I know you're an Aston Villa fan. I'm excited about Aston Villa's season ahead. Jack Grealish is a massive loss, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about who they have brought in so far. Leon Bailey, Danny Ings, Buendia. 3 massive signings. So don't get me wrong, I think they are going to have a fantastic season. 7th place for Aston Villa would be huge. And that is where I think they're going to finish. Yep, Ashley Young as well. Sorry, I forgot about that. Ashley Young, who will play a massive part. I'm excited about Aston Villa. However, this is maybe a little bit generous. Maybe they'll finish 8th or 9th. It's a little bit generous. But I think we need to tailor our expectations. I think a lot of people are thinking, they've made some really good signings. It doesn't always work out that way. Okay, I think we need to tailor our expectations just a little bit. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy and see how they do. I think they'll have a season with progression. It might not be as successful as some people think it's going to be. I think Jack Grealish is a massive loss. I know they've made good signings, but I think people sort of underestimate how big a loss Jack Grealish will be to the team. Again, it's just that realism, right? But I'm going to go with 7th. I'm excited to see how they do. If they get 7th, I think that's one of the best seasons they've ever had in the Premier League, right? It's got to be. So yeah, I'm excited to see how the likes of Leon Bailey gets on and Buendia. And of course, Danny Ings. And Ollie Watkins, they're already adding to a squad that is, pretty solid. Tyrone Mings, Ollie Watkins, Matty Cash, Martinez in goal. They've got a good squad. And they've got a strong squad. I'd go as far to say is they've got a better squad than Spurs right now. Overall, I think they've got a better quality squad than Spurs, which is why I'm putting them at 7th place. It's a big statement to make, but that is my honest opinion. 6th place. This might surprise a few people. I'm going with Leicester. Leicester, again, they've got a quality squad. I don't know if they've got it in them to do as well as they have. I don't know. It's really hard to explain this decision. I've got a gut feeling, and I know there's a team I have not included yet, who a lot of people are going to be, they're going to be looking at this video going, hang on a minute. How have you not put that team in yet? Bear with me. I think Leicester are going to finish 6th. I think, again, I've not seen too much news in the way of signings. Obviously, they've still got Jamie Vardy. They've got Iheanacho. Iheanacho sort of hit a good spell of form last season. Scored in the Community Shield last week as well. He could have a good season ahead of him. Might be a good fantasy football pick. However, the rest of the squad, again, I talk about squad depth. They're playing Europa League football this season. Do they have enough to compete on all fronts? I'm not so sure. The quality, not so sure. So I'm going to say 6th place. I think it won't be as good a season as they've had over the last couple of years, but I think that's where they're going to finish. I think that's probably the most realistic. 5th place. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to get it out of the way. Hang on. Yeah, I'm just going to get it out of the way. I'm going to get out of the way. Arsenal, 5th. Come at me. I think Arsenal are going to finish 5th. Okay, look. Let's talk about them. Let's forget the jokes for a minute. Put the jokes and the memes aside. Okay, I think Arsenal are going to have a very good season. They've not got any European football to think about. All they're thinking about this season is re-establishing themselves as a top 6 side, top 4 side even. Right? They've signed Ben White, who is going to improve their defense massively. They've got Kieran Tierney, who I think is a fantastic defender. They've signed is he a Portuguese lad? Another Portuguese lad who, I don't know much about, but it could be okay. They've got Aubameyang. Now, there's rumours that they could sign James Maddison. If they sign James Maddison, then I'm firmly putting them in 5th place. And of course, I think they're still looking for a striker as well, which, again, they've not found yet. So I'm not basing this prediction on that. I'm basing this prediction on the fact that they've not got European football. Literally, their sole purpose this season is to re-establish themselves as a top 4 team, or top 6 team even. I think they're going to have a good season. Arteta, he's not a bad coach. He has got his own style that he wants to implement, similar to the way Ollie has done it at United. It's taken Ollie 3 years. Yeah, last season we really started to see, the work that he had been putting in, sort of unfold in the league. We got to a cup final. We performed really well in the league, and that's something that we're going to take into this season. Arteta's doing the same thing. You need the players. You need players that are going to, get on board with the tactic. He's not quite had that yet, Arteta. But again, players like Ben White, maybe James Maddison, can do that. And I think, they're going to have a good season. I'm not counting Arsenal out. I think they're going to have a good season, unfortunately. And I'm putting them in 5th place. It does depend wholly on players remaining fit, I agree. But, I can't base a prediction on, if Partey gets injured or if Aubameyang gets injured, will they be good enough? I have to base my prediction on their fully fit starting 11, their squad depth. I think some of their youngsters coming through are so exciting. Saka has had a fantastic last year. I think Saka's going to be awesome. Smith Rowe, they've managed to keep hold of him, get him on a new contract. Some of these players coming through are very exciting. Again, Arsenal may not have the biggest squad depth, but they're only focusing on the Premier League this season, right? Maybe they'll win a cup. They might win an FA Cup or a League Cup, but they've got no Europa League to focus on. So squad depth, not much of an issue this season for them, which is why I'm putting them in 5th place. I think they've got a very exciting squad, in my opinion. So 5th place. 4th place, Liverpool. I've said this a few times. I've said that Liverpool, I worry about them this season. You look at all their rivals: City, Chelsea, United, Arsenal. They're all making signings, and Liverpool. They signed Konate. Okay, that was done ages ago. That was signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. but that's it. I feel like Liverpool are lacking an out and out number 9. I feel like they're lacking a a midfielder to replace Wijnaldum. I don't think Keita's that good. I'm sorry, Liverpool fans. I don't think Keita's that good. I don't think he's any better than Fred at United. A lot of people like to take the piss out of Fred. He's a decent player. I think he's better than Keita. Again, come at me. I think they lack an out and out number 9. If the goals dry up, they dry up massively for Liverpool. You know, I worry about their squad depth. If Salah or Mane get injured, what happens? They've got Jota, who, you know, this has to be a big season for him, I feel. Robertson is already out injured. They're going to be playing Tsimikas at left back. Is he that good? I don't know. You know, Premier League quality, good. Too early to tell. I worry about Liverpool. I think I just think, like, you know, if they get riddled with injuries again, which could happen, you know, Robertson's out already. If they get a couple of injuries, they struggle, right? Because they've not got the quality depth. They've not got players that can come in and do as good a job. And of course, they're going to be competing on multiple fronts once again. Yeah, I worry about them dropping out the top 4. I say that, I don't know who would replace them. I don't think Arsenal have got quite enough to get to the top 4. Leicester, maybe, depending on their season and, you know, how injuries go. I don't know. For me, it's a tricky one. I think Liverpool could drop out the top 4, but at the same time, I don't know who would go in. So I think they'll finish 4th. They'll be safe. I think they'll be some way off 1st and 2nd at the very least, maybe even 3rd. But I think they'll finish above the likes of Arsenal and Leicester. 3rd place. 3rd place. Making some controversial picks here, and I can't wait to see the response in the chat when I pick 3rd place. It's probably I'm just gonna see what happens. And what? Manchester City. I'm going to pick Manchester City 3rd. I think this could be the closest Premier League that we've had in a while. I think it's going to be the closest title race. Now, I think when people see that I pick City 3rd, they'll automatically assume that I think United and Chelsea are going to finish miles ahead of them. I don't. I'll make that clear straight away. I think this is going to be very close. I think it's going to come down to the last 2 or even the last game of the league to decide the champions this season. And I'll explain why as we move forward. City have had a good transfer window. You know, they've lost Aguero, which I worry about. They've lost Aguero. They've got Jesus. But other than that, they don't have another striker. They've got Jack Grealish, which is a great signing. But how often will he play at City? They've got Mahrez. Bernardo Silva wants to leave, apparently. So, you know, that could free up some chances for Grealish. They've got Sterling, De Bruyne, Gundogan. I worry about where Grealish will play. Will he play as a striker? I don't know. I don't know that he will. I worry about how much he'll play. Pep loves to rotate his teams. Again, they're going to be competing in the Champions League and the Premier League. It would be interesting to see what system they employ on the pitch. At the moment, I just don't know. I just worry that they've not got a striker really, and like an out and out striker with an instinct for goal, because it's different, right? Grealish can score goals, De Bruyne can score goals, Sterling can score goals. But at the end of the day, none of them have got that sort of natural instinct that an experienced number 9 does. You know, someone like, for example, Cavani. You know, it's different. He's got that natural instinct. He's played in that position for the majority of his career. He knows when to run into the box. He knows when to get on a ball. So I'm not entirely sure. Jesus is decent. Will he just be there? Will he be their number 1 striker? Maybe they'll gamble on him this season and go for it. Did they win the league without a striker last year? I disagree. I wouldn't say they won it without a striker. They still had Jesus play a part. Aguero was there a little bit. But yeah, Gundogan was top goal scorer. There's no doubt about it. Doesn't mean they played without a striker though. They still tried to many times, but they're not afraid to play a false 9. However, I still think I think this could be the season where we see them drop down. Again, I use the term drop down lightly because I think it's literally going to come down to 1 or 2 points at the end of the day. 1 or 2 points. So City third. Again, you could disagree with me. These are my predictions. This is what I think, at least. I'm going to stick with it. Second place. United. Okay, I'm putting us second for 2 reasons. One, I don't want to be just accused of biasness. You know, I try whenever I'm talking about football or United or whatever, anything football wise, I try at all times to be as not reserved, as what's the word? Arbitrary, just non-biased. I try not to be biased in any sense. You know, I try to be realistic as much as I can. I think United have got a fantastic shot at winning the title. It's probably our best chance at winning a Premier League title we've had since Ferguson left. Varane, Sancho are amazing signings. You know, there's people saying we need a striker and a central defensive mid. I don't think we need them. I think the squad we've got right now is capable of winning a Premier League title. And yeah, I just think we've got squad depth as well. You know, Matic has played a lot in pre-season. He's looked really, really good, actually. There were rumours that he might go and join Mourinho at Roma. Looks like he's set to stay. He's actually played really well in pre-season. Diego Dalot has had a very good pre-season. There's rumours that he is going to be kept and be challenging Wan-Bissaka for the right-back slot. Mason Greenwood has looked good. Got a couple of other youngsters that have looked really good this pre-season as well. I think we're going to have a good season. I'm going to put us at second. I think we've got enough to win the league. I don't want to be accused of biasness, so I'm going to put us second. If we finish second, I still think it's a very good season, especially if we are sort of close to level on points with first and ahead of City. A great season. Which means, in first place, the Premier League champions, my prediction is Chelsea. I think they're going to do it. Tuchel is a fantastic manager. Fantastic manager. I think there's a great atmosphere at Chelsea right now. I love his training sessions. If you've not had the chance to see any of his sessions, go on YouTube, try and find them. They are unreal. I love them. Signings. Koundé, going to be really good for them. Right, really good. Has it been confirmed? I'm not sure, but close to confirmed. Lukaku, wow. They've now got Lukaku and Werner. And now Timo Werner, I know he got a lot of stick last season. He has to be one of the most unfortunate strikers I've ever seen. You know, he was still top goal scorer for them. He could have doubled that tally easily with some of the chances he had, some of the things we saw. So I think Timo Werner's going to have another good season. And Romelu Lukaku as well. He is going to score goals for fun. He's massive. He has improved massively at Inter Milan. I think he's going to come into the Chelsea squad and absolutely dominate the Premier League. I think Kai Havertz had a very good Euros tournament. He's going to be really good. He'll be key to them. They've got Ben Chilwell. Reece James is continuing to develop on the right-hand side. I think Chelsea fans should be very excited for the season to come. I think they're going to win the Premier League. Again, it's going to be close. It could be a point, 2 points between Chelsea, City, United. You know, it's anyone's to win this season out of those three, in my opinion. I don't think Liverpool are going to be anywhere near it. But those three, any one of them could win it. I'm going to go Chelsea for this prediction. We'll see, like I said, at the end of the season, we'll do another video. We'll go over our predictions. We'll see how many we got right, how many we got wrong. Whatever the case, I cannot wait for the Premier League to start. I'm so sure you guys are the same. Bring it on. Bring it on.